Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us, that's right. I love this American ride.
Well, I am not surprised that ABC has canceled Jimmy Kimmel. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes radio program. Great to have you with us today. And we have a lot to talk about. By the way, this afternoon, I want you to write this down. If you are anywhere in the Memphis, Tennessee area, 6 o'clock tonight, we're having a big welcome celebration. We're welcoming the National Guard and all the other federal agencies coming to town to declare war on the gangbangers and the thugs. So we're very excited about that. 6 o'clock across from Mission Church in Memphis, Tennessee. We would love to see you out there. As a matter of fact, yours truly has been invited to say a word or two, possibly three, and looking forward to that as well. So very exciting times in the Memphis area as we get ready to restore our great city. Jimmy Kimmel, let's talk about this for just a moment because there are multiple angles to this, and I know everybody is all fired up. People are disgusted. They're accusing President Trump of declaring war on the First Amendment. It's just really remarkable. So, first of all, we need to understand something here. There are rules that govern what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do on network television. That's a longstanding part of the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC. Every TV station, every radio station has to abide by these rules. Now, for cable television, it's a very different story. There are no such rules. So cable television, for example, let's see. So occasionally you will hear someone on, say, CNN or PMS Now, and they will utter a bad word, like a naughty word, like mother fornicator or something like that. And you'll notice, wait a second, they didn't bleep mother fornicator. What's going on there? Or, I don't know, bull excrement. How come they didn't do that? How can they? Because they don't have to. So there are rules. The rules are different. Now, if you said you're nothing more than a sorry mother fornicator on, say, CBS or NBC, well, then you would get in trouble. And the same rules apply for the radio side, which is why Dylan has to use the bleep button every time we play some audio from Democrats. They're a very foul-mouthed bunch, by the way. So all that to say, I'm not terribly surprised that little Jimmy Kimmel got himself whacked. And I want to talk about why. And because there is a little concern here about the current leadership of the FCC, and I'll get to that in just a moment. And we talked briefly about that yesterday, about the Republicans overstepping the mark. So let me just say something. First and foremost, this has absolutely nothing to do with Donald J. Trump. ABC did not bow down to the Trump administration. The Trump administration did not call up Donald Trump and say, we're so sorry, Mr. President, that you've been offended. We're going to pull Jimmy Kimmel off the air. First of all, he hasn't been fired. He has been suspended indefinitely. The show has been suspended indefinitely. Jimmy Kimmel is still under contract with ABC. And it very well may be that they bring this guy back. I don't know. That's a possibility, I suppose. But the reality is Jimmy Kimmel has done things that would get conservatives not only canceled from TV, but literally ostracized from society. You say, well, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about the fact that Jimmy Kimmel used to dress up in blackface. And Jimmy Kimmel's a white guy. And he used to dress up in blackface. And if anybody else would have done that, they would have lost their jobs. But for whatever reason, I don't know what kind of photographs he has of the ABC uppity-ups, but Jimmy Kimmel's got them, and so he's been able to keep his job. And then, of course, along comes this horrible, horrible thing he said about Charlie Kirk and saying that the guy who shot and killed Charlie Kirk was a member of MAGA when in fact he was not. Look, it was a lie. But even worse worse than that in late night TV, it wasn't funny. And Jimmy Kimmel stopped being funny a long time ago. And I remember a time, and many of you are old timers, and you'll remember these days. Now, I was a little fella, and my mom and dad always made us go to bed. We were not allowed to stay up and watch Carson. That was the big thing, right? Back in the day, you got to stay up late and watch Johnny Carson. And that was really cool because that's what the grown-ups did. And Johnny Carson was hilarious. But Johnny Carson never told political jokes like they tell these days. Johnny Carson when he told a joke, it wasn't to offend, it was to make people laugh, and people love that. The early days of David Letterman, before he grew the beard and decided to audition for Lord of the Rings, David Letterman was funny. And it was just a wild, wacky show, Conan O'Brien. And Conan O'Brien still is to some, but I'm just telling you that late night TV has changed because this is not what it was supposed to be. People wanted to have a good chuckle. They wanted to laugh. They wanted to hear a good song or maybe watch a fun interview with a Hollywood celebrity and then go to bed. But now you tune into a show like Jimmy Kimmel's and you can't go to bed because your blood pressure's sky high. So anyway, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And what do you think ABC ought to do here? Because they do have to figure this out. Do they bring Jimmy Kimmel back, or do they do what CBS did, which was give Stephen Colbert the he vote? Is that what they do here? So ABC, or rather the New York Times, reporting on this, saying the network did not explain its decision, but there was a sequence of events, and one of them came when Brendan Carr, who is the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, suggested that the government might take action against ABC because of the comments that Jimmy Kimmel made about the killer of Charlie Kirk. And this is where I'm getting a little nervous because, ladies and gentlemen, we can't have the government doing something. Look, if they do this, if the government is the reason why, if the government is forcing ABC to do this, that's a big problem. Because then the government can turn around and they can try to pull something on conservatives. And we don't want that to happen. Again, let the consumers, let the viewers work this out because these things are being worked out. Jimmy Kimmel's ratings are in the toilet. Advertising dollars are dwindling, and the guy's going to get canceled one way or the other. So here is Cut 22, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr.
Yeah, broadcasters are different than any other form of communication, including here. We're on cable right now. Fox News doesn't have an FCC license. CNN doesn't. But ABC, CBS, NBC, those broadcast stations do. And with that license comes a unique obligation to operate in the public interest. And over the years, the FCC walked away from enforcing that public interest obligation. I don't think we're better off as a country for it. But look, President Trump ran directly at these legacy broadcast outlets, and he exposed them to these market forces. And a lot of these affiliate groups said, to your point, we're tired of carrying this stuff. Late night shows, something's gone seriously awry there. They went from going for applause, from laugh lines to applause lines. They went from being court jesters that would make fun of everybody in power to being court clerics and enforcing a very narrow political ideology. And Nexstar, as you noted, stood up and said, look, we have the license and we don't want to run this anymore. We don't think it serves the interest of our community. Sinclair did the same thing. So there's more work to go, but I'm very glad to see that America's broadcasters are standing up to serve the interests of their community. We don't just have this progressive foie gras coming out from New York and Hollywood.
All right, so let me explain what's going on here. So you have a lot of TV stations around America, and they are owned by these companies. And there are two very large groups. One is called Nexstar, and the other is called Sinclair. And so they own a lot of the radio stations. You may have a Nexstar or Sinclair station in your particular town or city. And so Nexstar came out. They were the very first ones right out of the gate, the president of Nexstar. And here's what I mean by affiliate. In other words, some of their TV stations are ABC affiliates, so they carry the ABC programming. And that's where their obligation is, but that's also where it ends. Now, Nexstar said that it strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk, and they will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. Andrew Alford saying this, Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our nation's political discourse. We do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located. In other words, they're getting calls. So when Kimmel made this comment, and just hear me on this, this is not happening in a vacuum. What happened was people started picking up the phones and calling and complaining, not to Nexstar headquarters, but to the local TV affiliates. That's what's going on here. Mr. Alford goes on to say, continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest at the current time, and we have made the difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move toward the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue. So there you have that. Now, Sinclair, which also owns a number of stations, posted something similar, but they said they took it a step further. And Sinclair said, hey, look, this guy's got to apologize. They're demanding an apology from little Jimmy Kimmel. The company's vice chairman, Jason Smith, calling the comments which implied Charlie's killer was a member of MAGA inappropriate, deeply insensitive. So instead, they're going to be airing on Friday a remembrance special honoring Charlie Kirk in place of Jimmy Kimmel's show. They said, we believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. We appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. So I'm curious, ladies and gentlemen, does the show need to go? Does ABC just need to kick little Jimmy to the curb? 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Sane talk in an insane world. Todd Starnes.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
You know, I've tried every diet out there and nothing seems to work. Then I found Calitrin and I'm losing some weight. I've got more energy and I'm finally sleeping better. Elizabeth, this stuff really works.
And you know, we hear that every day, Todd. I've lost 40 pounds with it too. And Calitrin is not a drug, a stimulant, so no jitters, no crash. It's just going to work naturally with your body to help support healthy weight loss while you sleep. And it also has side benefits too.
And that's really what I love. I don't feel like I'm on some sort of a crazy diet or loaded up on caffeine. I take Calitrin before bed, and it does the rest. Elizabeth, it is simple, and it's been life-changing for me.
Yes, and proven for almost 30 years. And right now we've got a special offer. You can try Calitrin risk-free for your listeners and see the results for yourself, and also use that promo code TODD to save on shipping.
Yeah, take it from me, folks. Calitrin delivers. Don't wait another day. Go to toploss.com and get started. Use that promo code TODD.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. and they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga. My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Yeah, no, not very talented. Mr. President not pulling any punches there. The president across the big pond, wrapping up that big 2-day trip to the UK. What man, they just rolled out the red carpet for President Trump over there, and we appreciate that. Hey, let's go to the phone lines here, 901-260-5926. Heading down to South Mississippi. Paul is on the... Paul, what part of South Mississippi are you calling from?
Go Jay.
All right. Well, we're excited to have you with us. What's on your mind, Paul?
Kick him to the curb.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Kick Jimmy Kimmel to the curb. That's why I don't watch him networks no more, because people like him and just done it.
So was this the final straw for you?
Yes, sir.
Well, Paul, we got your opinion here. So you say that ABC needs to kick Jimmy Kimmel to the curb. Thank you for calling in. Let's go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Jerry the Liberal joins us. All right, Jerry, what say you?
Todd, if people don't want to watch this show, that's fine. The problem is when the FCC chair, Trump's appointed chair, puts his finger on the scale and tries pressuring license holders, the same thing he did with Stephen Colbert. That's the problem I have with. I have no problem with people choosing not to watch a show, Jimmy Kimmel's or Colbert's show. That's the free marketplace of ideas. It's when the government, and Brandon Carr's the government, is doing that, then Donald Trump doesn't have to do anything. But when Carr's doing that, who's to keep anyone safe? Well, if an FCC chair appointed by a Democratic president tried to do that against you in the future, as you said, that would be, a bad thing to happen if something like that happened.
Yeah, look, so here's what he said. I want to read verbatim what the FCC commissioner said about Jimmy Kimmel. Quote, "This is a very, very serious issue right now for Disney. Disney owns ABC. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to take action on Kimmel, or there is going to be additional work for the FCC ahead." So the question now, Jerry, was that a direct threat, or was that just a general warning?
That sounds like something a mob boss would say. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like it would be a shame if something bad happened.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you're going to do something, here's what you might want to do.
Yeah, all Americans should be scared at this idea of the government doing this implied threats or non-implied threats to that. What's the First Amendment means if the government could do this? Just threaten news media or threaten broadcast licenses. I don't know why people aren't aghast at this.
No, I'm Jerry, you know me. I'm a pro-Trump guy. I've been with Trump from day one, not ever going to waver on that. But the Republicans in general have a problem. When they get power, they go overboard. And we ended up with the Patriot Act, which means I get felt up at the TSA checkpoints, and I always get stuck with the guy with the clammy hands, a little too touchy-feely for my taste. Then you got you got what happened during the China virus, and now this with Pam Bondi coming out and saying, well, Office Depot's got to print the pictures, no matter if they agree or don't agree. Businesses must do as the government instructs. I got big problems with that kind of. It's just government overreach.
Right, and you know what? You posted a tweet about that, and I posted the exact same tweet with the exact same conclusion. If Bondi does that, then bakers would have to sell cakes to gay customers.
Jerry, don't say that. That's not helping my cause.
I had posted the exact same.
You and I are not allowed to agree that much.
It's the same logic. It's the same concept.
Lord, now Brendan Carr is going to come after me. Jeez, Lou. Thanks a lot, Jerry. No, look, here's the deal. We've got to have a limited government, and this is the reason why. And we're going to keep calling them out every time they do it. And that's not to say that I'm enraged over what's going on, but we can't have more government. Big government's not the answer. Jerry, got to run. 901-260-5926, our number. This is the Todd Stern Show.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on...
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face, never let them have too much screen time, and never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed, never ever become a minivan mom, and you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. It is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. I just got a note from our good buddy Wyatt Cox over in Nevada and said, Stearns, you know that those stations in Utah, the phone lines blew up over all of this. Yeah, no doubt about that. By the way, we're hearing, and we're working to confirm this. I'm not going to give out the name of the TV station, but I've heard I have very good sources in Memphis, Tennessee. And I will tell you that one of the TV stations, the newsroom, erupted in cheers and celebration when the word came down that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated. And the celebration was so vile that they had to call a company-wide meeting to address proper behavior and decorum in the newsroom. We're waiting to hear back from we reached out to the corporate headquarters of this particular TV station, and we're giving them a chance to respond to this and explain what exactly course correction they're going to make sure this never happens again. But I suspect that's the norm. I suspect there were many TV stations around the nation, and newsrooms especially, where something very similar happened. It's pretty despicable. And this is what gets me, and this is always the tell when it comes to whether a person's a leftist or not. I don't care who you are, but if you die and you're a person that is known, whether in politics or celebrity, we always mourn the loss of that person. And you know why? Because as a conservative, life matters, right? I mean, this is one of the reasons why conservatives are pro-lifers, because we believe that every life is precious, a gift from God, that we are all made in God's image, including little Jimmy Kimmel, who's a godless heathen sinner, but we're still all made in God's image. We don't wish death on anyone. You say, well, Tom, what about the death penalty? Well, yes, there is a price to pay when you take a life. So I'm telling you, folks, I'm not terribly surprised of the reaction. It's horrible. It's disgusting. But this is where we are right now. We live in a very, very ugly world and an ugly nation right now from a spiritual standpoint. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I want to point something out here. So a lot of people are saying, well, ABC is bending and they're bending to the pressure coming from the FCC. And they very well may be. And I think what Mr. Carr said, while it may have come from a good place, it is not. That is not a good thing for the FCC to do, because when the Democrats take control, they will crack down on every conservative talk radio station, conservative TV station, Christian radio, you name it. They will come at us with a guns a-blazing. So here's what I want you to understand about Jimmy Kimmel, because this is important. The reality is that ABC was well within their rights to get rid of this guy, and a long time ago. And it's not just the blackface. Again, the idea that a white comedian in this day and age would be able to dress up in blackface and mock black people, and all he had to do was apologize? I don't know about that. But anyway, let's set all of that aside and hear me on this. Jimmy Kimmel was making between $15 and $18 million a year. His audience was collapsing. He was dead last in the ratings. Did you hear that? Dead last in the ratings. Stephen Colbert averaged 2.2 million viewers. Jimmy Fallon, 1.1. Pardon me. Jimmy Kimmel came in third place at 1.7. 1.7 million people. That's it. The guy's hauling in $15 to $18 million. Meanwhile, Greg Gutfeld over at Fox News Channel, he's hauling in over 3.2 million viewers. There you go. That's the reality of the situation. Nobody was watching. He was literally hemorrhaging viewers as well as advertisers. Let's go to Doug in Gainesville, Georgia. WDUN, our terrific affiliate there. Hi, Doug. What's on your mind?
Well, it's a terrific affiliate. We love you here in Georgia.
Well, thank you.
I feel for what.
Whoops, I think we lost Doug. You know what, Doug? Let's put Doug on hold for a quick second, and we're going to get all that worked out. I will say this, and I'll give you an example. Let's just say one day, we have an obligation to all of our affiliates, right? WDUN's an affiliate. We've got KYKN, a great affiliate. We have a great affiliate in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, if it's Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Morehead City, Statesville. You see what's happening. I'm going to name all of them. We have 170 stations around the country that carry this show. And Todd Stearns, the host, I have an obligation to make sure that I protect the FCC licenses of every single radio station that I'm on. and every other radio host does as well. And if I showed up one day and I announced to the good people of Gainesville, Georgia, that Todd Starnes, I was renouncing sweet tea, and I was renouncing fried chicken and biscuits, and I was going to dedicate the rest of my life to being a vegan, they would be well within their rights to pulling me off the air. God forbid that happens. Oh, I'm talking about being a vegan, not pulling me off the air. I just got a shudder. I need to get some fried chicken for lunch. But what I'm saying is that we have an obligation here. Oh, by the way, Dylan, I have to tell you this story. You know, we were talking about late night. Were you a big Kimmel guy?
No. I'd never really found him funny. More offensive than funny most times.
Was that the one with the little did at one point he have like a little midget person?
Oh, I think he had the Guillermo.
Guillermo. Yeah. Was he like a little fella? I mean,
he might have been shorter than Jimmy. I don't know.
That may be my bad. I think I just canceled myself.
I think you're thinking of Lord of the Rings.
Little people. Wait a second. Was that? No, that's Brian Stelter over at CNN.
Oh, Lord.
Wow. Okay, this took an odd turn. So you're not a big Kimmel. I'm sorry. I guess I need to apologize. What's his name? Guido?
Guillermo.
Oh, Guillermo. Wrong. That's wrong ethnicity. My apologies.
I never really understood Guillermo either.
He's not Italian.
It just wasn't funny to me.
No, it wasn't. And maybe if they did some bowling with Guillermo, I don't know if that's. No, sorry. That was the Wolves of Wall Street. Sorry.
Jeez.
Wow. It's Thursday, isn't it?
It's Thursday.
Thank
Almost Friday.
The good Lord. So look, I was a big Conan O'Brien fan and David Letterman fan back in the day.
Yeah, I like Conan. He's pretty funny. He doesn't get too political, which, I mean, you know, it's just funny. It doesn't have to be divisive.
Right. It's like, you know, Letterman, like 1990s, David Letterman was awesome. I'm not sure what happened after that, but it was so cutting edge, so funny, and Letterman was irreverent. And then Conan comes along, and he was just, I really enjoyed Conan.
Yeah, early Conan days might have been some of the most funny, like, talk show host days for, like, late night.
So you remember the insult comic dog, right? You know, the guy walked around, and who was it? Hold on. It's Robert Triumph, the insult comic dog. All right, here we go. Robert Smigel, right? Didn't he do, like, the ambiguously gay duo and all that? The guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
So anyway, Triumph was like this dog puppet that smoked a cigar. And they would go around and they would, you know, Triumph would like interview people. And it was very insulting. Then during the interview, Triumph would insult you. And that was kind of like the shtick back in the day. So in 2006, or 2008, the Republican National Convention, I'm there as a reporter for Fox doing my job. And all of a sudden, I turn around, and there is Triumph, the insult comic dog, staring right at me. It took me by surprise, and then he just starts interviewing me. He's got like a Rottweiler, right?
Yeah.
And so at the time, this is at the Republican convention, and so they were trying to figure out where the weapons of mass destruction were. That was the thing. Where are the WMDs? Which is a fair question, actually. But anyway, Triumph goes, where the weapons of mass destruction? We're looking for them. And I think I found them. They're hiding in this man's large belly.
Oh, you became a victim to Triumph.
I'm like, I'm loving this. And I know he's insulting me, but I couldn't help but smile. I'm like, because, you know, you're getting insulted by Triumph, the insult comic dog.
Because it's actually funny.
Yes.
Other than some of these other people.
And so I tried to be funny back, but I don't think I was. I think I just made him mad. I'm like, oh, I get it. You're trying to be funny by saying that the weapons of mass destruction are in my belly because I'm overweight. Oh, that is funny.
You ruined his joke.
I ruined the joke. I know. It's not good.
It's okay.
But anyway, I got my picture with the guy.
Good.
Which is really the puppet. So
you were on Conan.
I was on Conan. It was a great moment in my career. So anyway, that's my late night story. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Hey, let's go back to Gainesville, Georgia. Johnny, WDUN. Hi, Johnny. What's going on?
Hey, time and taxes. What about you?
Not much. What's up? Got to keep it quick.
Okay. First of all, I could care less about Colbert, all them people. They're sickening. But anyhow, my beef is we love Charlie Kirk, but the girl in Charlotte that was murdered, I haven't heard hardly nothing about that. But if there would have been a white guy that murdered a black woman on the bus, all hell would have broke loose.
Well, I think, and you're talking about Irina Zarutska, who is the Ukrainian national, killed in Charlotte, North Carolina on that light rail train by the black dude. And look, no doubt about it, it was taken off of the front page of, not only the national media, but also, I would say, conservative media. Everybody's focusing right now on this Charlie Kirk situation. But you're right, Johnny. I mean, it's a major story, and it is symptomatic of a much broader national issue regarding crime.
Yes. And I have one more thing, and then I'll be going. You tell me how you can be a Democrat, liberal, call yourself a Christian, but yet follow the Democratic platform. It's impossible.
Johnny, I'm with you. I don't get it. And I get a lot of blowback every time I mention that, but it's true. I want somebody to explain to me how it is, and Johnny, I think, did a great job of summing it up. How can you call yourself a Christian and a Democrat and celebrate the assassination of somebody? How do you do that, ladies and gentlemen? I don't even know how you sleep at night. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Honest and true. Todd Starnes.
In a world where our values are under fire, it's time to stand strong. That's why you should know about Old Glory Bank. Old Glory Bank is a bank that stands for faith, family, and freedom. A bank that won't cave to cancel culture. Your money, your values. So if you're tired of banks that won't stand up for your values, it's time to switch to Old Glory Bank. Head on over to oldglorybank.com/Starnes and make the change today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Thought, well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back, everybody. Happy to have you with us. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Crazy story. This is out of Springfield, Oregon. Anybody out there know where Springfield is? I don't know much about the community, but I got to tell you, they got a lot of kids that are conservative out there. Thurston High School, where the students walked out. Why did they walk out of class? Because they're sick and tired of these heathen teachers talking smack about Charlie Kirk. Take a listen.
Obviously, at Thurston, we have a history of shootings happening at our school, and murders had happened on that day. So we just don't want to stand for the murder that occurred on that day.
If you're going to be okay with murders, I mean, what else are you really okay with, you know?
Now, the students say they plan on remaining outside until the end of the school day in hopes of bringing attention from not only the community, but the district itself. The post the students are protesting, which has been shared across social media platforms, shows the employee sharing a news article about Kirk's death with the comment, "Good." Now, we did reach out to the district, which says it is aware of the post and concern from parents who are saying, quote, "The views expressed in the post do not reflect the values of SPS. As a public school district, we're committed to providing a safe and respectful environment for all students, staff, and families. While we cannot comment on the individual personnel actions, know that we are taking this matter seriously."
Well, there you go. Good for you, kids, and you keep that up. I made a promise. I've spoken at two Charlie Kirk vigils, and I made a promise to the kids, and we've made the promise on this radio program that we're not going to ever again allow conservative kids to be bullied. Those days are over. We're not going to tolerate that. And if you bully a child, you get fired. That's the way it has to be. And we need more people across the country to stand up and push back on that one issue. We have got to eradicate the infestation of radicalism in our nation's taxpayer-funded classrooms. And we also have to come alongside the teachers who are good guys, the teachers that are trying to do the right thing. They just want to teach the kids how to read and write. They want to teach the kids about American history and science, maybe even how to drive correctly. By the way, I've noticed that since the Highway Patrol has arrived, everybody's driving the speed limit in Memphis these days. How about that? It's amazing. When you actually have more cops on the roads, people actually obey the speed limit. Go figure. So anyway, good for these kids out in Springfield, Oregon. And this is happening all over the country where kids are really finding their voice. And they're saying, you know what? Yeah, it's okay to be a girl. It's okay to be a boy. It's okay to stand up and be pro-life. It's okay to love God. It's okay to talk about Jesus in public. The kids are pushing back. They're saying, we're not going to be silent anymore. We're not going to be quiet. We're going to be respectful. We're going to be happy warriors, but we're going to stand up and we're going to fight for our rights. Isn't that what Ronald Reagan said? You know, I wrote in the book, Twilight's Last Gleaming, Can America Be Saved? You know, that Reagan gave a speech. And in that speech, Reagan said that our national anthem is so unique because it's the one anthem in world history, the one anthem that does not make a declaration. It is a series of questions. Can you still see the flag? Is the flag still flying? Is it there? Does it still wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave? It's a question that every single generation of Americans, we must answer for. And when old Todd Starnes, I guess about 40 years from now, is heading off to glory, I want to be able to say on my deathbed, yeah, the flag is still there. Under my watch, the flag, the red, white, and blue still waves. But this is something that every generation has to rise up and stand for. And thank goodness for these kids, these young kids out there, Generation Z. They're standing up, and we need to stand alongside them. They're not afraid. I love that. All right, we've got to take a quick break here, folks. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. We got some Jasmine Crockett news. She's back to shucking and jiving. We'll tell you all about that coming up next. Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer, trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653 and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Stern sent you. Vault U.S. Gold. Buy smart, win big.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Stern. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So maybe you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're much happier with. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Erin Napier is the star of Hometown, a hit series on HGTV. She and her husband, Ben, live in Laurel, Mississippi. She's facing a firestorm of anger from fans because she recently mourned the loss of Charlie Kirk. Charlie was assassinated by a man who has a gay, furry, transgender lover. He was killed because of his Christian beliefs and his conservative values. Napier said she was revolted by some of the comments she's received, urged anyone defending the assassination to unfollow her on social media. Only the demonized celebrate death. That's what she wrote. Some fans threatened to stop buying her products. Others said they would boycott her show because she refused to celebrate Charlie's murder. Fans even targeted her two children, lashing out because she homeschools. Yet others have been supportive and called out the Napier's family's courage for speaking truth to a disgusting culture. Christ have mercy on all of us, Erin said in a prayer. Have mercy indeed. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hello. Happy to have you with us today, ladies and gentlemen. A lot going on out there. We have a lot of news regarding Charlie Kirk. Also, more National Guard news from around the country. I want to start, though, with this bizarre story that is starting to creep into the national media, and we need to talk about it so you can be aware of it, because it is not as it is being portrayed. So there was just a horrible story on the campus of Delta State University. That university in the Mississippi Delta, a fine school. They call themselves the Fighting Okra. That's the nickname, the moniker there, the Fighting Okra. So anyway, there was the body of a young black man, Demartravian Reed, was found hanging from a tree. I want to stop there for just a moment. This happened on Monday. Ben Crump, the civil rights race agitator, is already weighing in on this. So you know where all of this is going. So let me give you some background here. This is from the reporting of the Clarion Ledger, which is owned by Gannett, the publishers of USA Today. Mr. Reed was found hanging from a tree on campus, and the coroner has ruled the death to be suicide. Now, you would think there would be a full stop right there, but that's not how these stories go. As a matter of fact, the president of Delta State University is adding even more gasoline to this fire. Dan Ennis. He was asked about accusations by some family members they had not been contacted by the university regarding the details about their loved one's death. And it turns out there's a reason why. Because this kid left behind a note saying he did not want to talk to certain family members. So it seems to me that law enforcement is trying to be as gentle as possible here and as courteous as possible. But the university president said the image of a black man hanging from a tree in the middle of the Mississippi Delta speaks to a strained history of race relations in Mississippi, the South, and throughout the United States. Again, I want to ask a question here. How many lynchings have there been here in the 21st century? I don't, it's really not even a delicate question. I'm just asking. Because now the university president has just turned this story into something that it was not. The president of Delta State, who the Clarion Ledger identifies as a white man, said, quote, while the preliminary report indicates no evidence of foul play, we recognize this is not just about facts. Can we stop here for just a minute? If it's not just about facts, what the hell is it supposed to be about? Are you kidding me? We recognize this is not just about facts. It's about emotions and it's about feelings. The way this loss was discovered affects people's lives. I recognize that I am not adequate to speak of the imagery that this scene raises. I acknowledge my weakness there. Okay, so you're a white guy, but you're a woke white guy. Well, what does your skin color have to do with anything here? So let's go back here. They've already said the kid committed suicide. It's a terrible tragedy, a terrible story. And now the president of the university is coming out and saying, well, you know what? Yeah, he committed suicide, but we need to talk about white people lynching black folks across America because that's apparently a big problem. No, Dylan, no. Bubba Wallace, that was a lever. That was not a rope hanging out of the NASCAR garage. That was something to pull the garage door down. That was not a lynching. That was, yeah. Oh, geez, Lou. The university president defended the way they handled the matter. They said the students actually choose who they want as their personal contact. From the moment we discovered this, the university's been in regular and frequent contact with the next of kin. This was a choice by the student, and the choice of the student has to be respected even when the student is no longer with us. I recognize there are family not being contacted that are not the names that Trey gave us. I am so sorry for that. So now social media is blowing up, and you're going to be hearing all about this. I mean, this is it. There will be a narrative that white people are lynching black folk in the South. According to the Clarion Ledger, many social media posts say that Trey Reed had 2 broken legs and other injuries that would have prevented him from hanging himself. Now, there have now been threats made against the university, and people are all up in arms. Now, buried in all of this coverage is one very important fact. Well, there are multiple facts, but this one's important to the conversation here, because this university and this moron president is just pouring gasoline, and this will explode into a national issue. And it doesn't have to be, because it turns out there are actually videos. According to the Clarion Ledger, there are videos related to the hanging of Reed, and those videos are now being part of the investigation. According to the police, there are videos out there. We cannot speak to that, but we we will not speak to it. Reed was found hanging from a tree about 60 yards from the back of the cafeteria and near the dorm's pickleball courts. Last Friday, Ben Crump, now representing the family, demanded that the video be released. The family also wants to pursue an independent autopsy. Ben Crump says Trey's family deserves answers they can trust. We cannot accept rushed conclusions when the stakes are this high. By demanding the family be allowed to view any video and commissioning an independent autopsy, we're taking every step to uncover the truth. All right, great, if that's what they're really after. But they're not after the truth. They're after a check here. That's what they're after. They're after money. That's what they're after. So I will say this. You got videos? Put them out. Put them out. Go ahead and because once you put the videos out, those videos, if in fact they show what the police say happened, then it will put this entire matter to rest, we think. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you start seeing stories in the national media about white people lynching blacks, that's where it came from. Unbelievable what's happening at Delta State University. And quite frankly, Governor Tate Reeves might want to step in here and have a very long conversation. Sounds like they need new leadership at Delta State University. Time to get rid of the woke white dude. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. So, can we talk about Jasmine Crockett? Shuckin'! Shuckin' and jiving. Ow! Good. Go. Well, Jasmine Crockett's back. She's got new glasses, by the way, new eyewear. Does she really have a problem? Does she have a vision problem, or are those just like fake glasses? They're giant. They look like dueling television sets. That's how big the glasses are. Dylan, you're laughing. You've seen them.
I can confirm. I thought they were sunglasses.
I'm like, whoa, what? It's like Phyllis Diller.
They are huge.
All right. So Jasmine Crockett is going after Kash Patel. Take a listen. Cut 14.
But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining, yet we are supposed to believe that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question. Now,
what
I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye. And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, you know, we're happy because now we feel safe, I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists, because I specifically as a black woman definitely don't feel safe. I don't have any confidence in you. And if we start talking about the reasons that I lack confidence, we could start with you not just wanting to acknowledge some simple facts. Simple facts like the vast majority of the threats are coming from right-wing extremism. So I'm confused about what it is that the FBI is doing except for trying to put on a show for the apprentice or whatever you want to call him. The day after all of this took place, there was domestic terrorism that was taking place at HBCUs. They were targeted. Yet I didn't hear anything from the FBI about what was going on. And again, black people kept saying, how did we end up in this? Because the numbers are so very clear that white supremacy is a problem. And honestly, I've not heard anything out of you today that makes me believe that you're gonna do anything about the white supremacy problem. The one that is leading to children being killed, children being shot, as well as members of their community as they're worshiping in their churches.
I didn't ask you a question. I didn't ask you a question. That's Jasmine Crockett there. I'm just shocked at her deficient linguistic skills, seeing how she was educated at some of the most expensive schools in the nation. And if I were her parents, I would be demanding a refund, because clearly something's not going on well there at places like Rhodes College. But anyway, I just have one question. Does Jasmine Crockett have a problem with Indian American people? I have never seen someone so condescending and treating an individual like Kash Patel, who is a very well-educated man, a very accomplished man. I've never seen anyone treat someone with such a dismissive attitude. So I'm just wondering, and I'll say it out loud. I mean, does Jasmine Crockett have a problem with Indian Americans? Just wondering. That's what we do here. We ask the questions that people are afraid to ask. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
The most trusted source for conservative news. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
You know, I've tried every diet out there and nothing seems to work. Then I found Calitrin and I'm losing some weight. I've got more energy and I'm finally sleeping better. Elizabeth, this stuff really works.
And you know, we hear that every day, Todd. I've lost 40 pounds with it too. And Calitrin is not a drug, a stimulant. So no jitters, no crash. It's just going to work naturally with your body to help support healthy weight loss while you sleep. And it also has side benefits too.
And that's really what I love. I don't feel like I'm on some sort of a crazy diet or loaded up on caffeine. I take Calitrin before bed, and it does the rest. Elizabeth, it is simple, and it's been life-changing for me.
Yes, and proven for almost 30 years. And right now we've got a special offer. You can try Calitrin risk-free for your listeners and see the results for yourself, and also use that promo code TODD to save on shipping.
Yeah, take it from me, folks. Calitrin delivers. Don't wait another day. Go to toploss.com and get started. Use that promo code TODD. Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNS and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, Bill O'Reilly weighing in on all of this. He was hanging out with Chris Cuomo last night on News Nation, cut number 25.
What Kimmel did is inexplicable to me. And maybe he'll come on your show and explain it to you or my show, the No Spin News. He had to know on Monday in his dialogue how raw the country was over this assassination of Charlie Kirk. He had to know that. And to use his monologue, which is usually comedic, to mislead the entire country by implying that MAGA Trump supporters were really behind the murder. To do that, I'm saying you have a battery of writers, you have a producer on your program. Did no one red flag you on this? Did no one say anything about this? This isn't about censorship, all right? This is about responsibility. And as you pointed out correctly, every corporation has a responsibility to make sure the product it is selling is an honest product. And by saying that MAGA might have been responsible for murder, not only is that defamatory, but it's outrageous.
Well, it is outrageous, and let's talk about that for just a moment. And here's the problem for people like Jimmy Kimmel. They're stupid. That they really are not all that well educated, and especially on issues like the U.S. Constitution. Now, I had a chance last night to go back and read the U.S. Constitution, and I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, nowhere in that document does it say that ABC is obligated to employ Jimmy Kimmel. I went back and forth, went online and did a search. I could not find anything in the Constitution that said ABC is obligated to employ Jimmy Kimmel. ABC's only obligation, and of course the parent company Disney, their only obligation is to make money. That's it. And by the way, all of the affiliates, the TV stations across America that carry ABC programming, they too have an obligation to their viewers. And I suspect they heard from a lot of their viewers. So again, going back to the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, he's right to be outraged. I get that, but you can't go out there and threaten ABC or CBS or NBC. You can't do that. That's not your role. It's not your role to shut down Jimmy Kimmel. That's the responsibility of ABC, based on the complaints they're getting from all of their viewers and the affiliates that carry all of their programming. Now, I want to play some audio here from Chuck Schumer. This is back in 2023, because the Democrats are out there saying, we are the defenders and we are the protectors of free speech in America. Harumph, harumph, harumph. This is Chuck Schumer in 2023 demanding that Tucker Carlson be fired.
These lies continue tonight. Rupert Murdoch, who has admitted they were lies and said he regretted it, has a special obligation to stop Tucker Carlson from going on tonight now that he's seen how he has perverted and slimed the truth, and from letting him go on again and again and again. Not because their views deserve such opprobrium, but because our democracy depends on it.
Oh, and he wasn't the only one. I mean, you had people on CNN and PMS Now. They were all out there talking about how people need to lose their jobs. People like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity, Roseanne Barr. There are dozens and dozens of conservatives in radio and TV that have been canceled. Nobody said anything about it. Nobody said that we were burning the First Amendment. Nobody said anything about that. So again, I think you have to be very, very careful when you're looking at this issue. And ABC is well within their rights to do whatever they want to do to any of their employees. And may I suggest, after they finish with Jimmy Kimmel, they can start taking a long, hard look at those squawking magpies over on The View. 901-260-5926. That is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, this is the Todd Stearns Radio Show, and Dylan, this is our first call that we've had Jasmine Crockett episodes before, but now we have a Jasmine Crockett caller. Chuck it! Chuck it in, Javin. Ow! Good. Let's go to Murph in Germantown, Tennessee, listening to us on KWAM. Hey, Murph, what's going on?
Dr. Starnes, always a pleasure. Just an observation regarding the distinguished representative from the state of Texas, Representative Crockett, a member of the loyal opposition. It's just curious, at least among the Democratic Party and the Democratic train of thought, that if their message is so true and if their message is so affirmative, why is it that they rely on name-calling and accusations that are very suspect, especially regarding the leader or the chief executive of the Federal Bureau of Investigation? So I was just curious if you have any Democratic-leaning listeners out there. I would covet some type of commentary on what their philosophy is, other than take from people that earn it and give it to people that don't. So take it from there, good buddy. All the best.
Yeah, Murph, always good hearing from you. And, of course, Murph is a retired history teacher, ladies and gentlemen, and we love his great observations all the time here on the program. I want to bring into the conversation Republican strategist Luke Simbal. Luke, good to have you in studio today.
Todd, it's good to see you.
You know, it's interesting as we're sort of working through the events really of the past, multiple days. It feels like an entire month has gone by here. So much news and information related to Charlie Kirk. We now understand, by the way, the breaking news of the hour. Erica Kirk is the new CEO. You voted unanimously by the board, so she'll be taking over Turning Point USA. Your reactions?
I'm excited about this. Erica had been doing more and more speaking engagements. She had been leading more efforts at Turning Point. My understanding is multiple folks at Turning Point said Charlie had told them that would be his wish. If anything ever happened to him, she was more than capable. And it's interestingly enough, they were on a podcast together here over the last few months, and he said, America should be very scared of Erica Kirk because she, compared to her, he was a moderate. I mean, apparently she's pretty conservative and unafraid to say so. So we'll see how she does. Prayers for her as she still is recovering, obviously, from the tragic assassination of her husband, and prayers for her as she leads a really important organization that had a major impact in 2024 and will continue to do so.
The response is just overwhelming, staggering, of these vigils all over the place. I know that you guys have seen, huge numbers coming out. Have you noticed from a Republican Party standpoint, are people making calls? Are they joining the party?
Huge. I actually just had a text message this morning from somebody who was at a vigil saying, you know what, I have been to a Republican meeting. I didn't talk to a whole lot of folks. I really want to get plugged in. How do I get plugged in? And so we're getting them plugged in. And Todd, young people reaching out to our local Young Republicans chapter, reaching out to Turning Point chapters. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Our local Republican Party, their social media has grown by 20% in the last 6 days.
Wow.
It is unbelievable. People are fired up. They are done. And this whole movement of moderate Democrats saying, you know what, I do not associate anymore with the Democrat Party. There is a fringe left that is not being called out by the Democrat Party. I can no longer associate with them, and they're changing their registration.
But hold on, though. Is it really fringe, though? I'm thinking this is mainstream.
You're right. Polling showed yesterday that about 24% of those who identify on the left said that political violence is appropriate when there is language with which they disagree. You're right. That is not fringe. That is a quarter of the Democrat Party. A quarter of the left thinks that it is okay to use violence when they hear speech with which they disagree. That is terrifying.
This is the actual headline from The Hill. Liberals more likely to say political violence sometimes justified.
And this is something we've known. I think anybody on the right and any honest person in the center would tell you, objectively speaking, the left has a problem with political violence. We have been seeing it for decades. We have, Ann Coulter wrote a book in 2011 called Demonic, talking about the liberal mob and how the mob, demonic forces, arise out of the left and out of leftist ideology. And so, this shouldn't be a surprise to us, but it's really, really scary. And I applaud President Trump for designating Antifa a terrorist organization. That is hugely important, and we have got to dismantle and follow the money.
Got to. This story from the New York Post, an Oberlin College student casually calling for political assassinations to continue in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder. She said, quote, "We need to bring back political assassinations." Her name, Julia Zhu. That's XU. Oh, my God. She's got like Jasmine Crockett-sized glasses. I mean, it's like Mr. Magoo.
It's disgusting. We have to continue to call it out. And, I really think that the Democrat Party is complicit for not calling it out. And they are partly to blame. Largely to blame.
This girl on the advisory board for the campus group Gender, Sexuality, and Attraction Initiatives. They support queer, trans, and women's programming. She uses they, them pronouns and is a member of the Students for a Free Palestine. It's like she's batting 1,000 here on the leftist groups.
Yeah, what was that UT professor who was fired, the professor of queer anthropology or so? What do you know what queer anthropology
I don't
is?
know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I do not know.
But there is a lot of connection with this gender crap, and these violent activists. That is a common theme. If you find somebody obsessed with gender, honestly, I'm to the point where chances are they are radical activists, violent.
You've got you had the Islamists, you've got Antifa, you've got these trans terrorists is what they are. This is a dangerous, toxic mess, and I think that we're going to see more violence. I have no doubt about that. I just truly believe we're going to see more violence.
I agree. And, I've been helping host vigils across the Memphis area here for Charlie Kirk. And all of our local police departments are now doing air surveillance of rooftops. They are using, we had probably 60 agents of some sort sweep the fields for all day long before the event for bombs and things like that, because that is how bad the violence has gotten on the left.
It's insane it comes to that, just to hold a prayer vigil.
It is insane, and we've got to call it out. And Democrat Party, where's Nancy Pelosi on this? I haven't heard her denounce leftist violence.
Great question. And you're not going to hear any of these people denounce it. I mean, even Obama out there yesterday trying to blame Trump. And this was what was so rich about that. He said, well, we really don't need to weigh in on any of this until we know all of the facts. This is the same guy. Every time a black person got in trouble, he went out there in front of the cameras and weighed in. From Trayvon Martin to the cops acting stupidly. It's, this was Obama's MO. This is how he operated his presidency, was to get out there and say something, making everything about race before he actually knew the real story.
I want to see a line graph of attacks against police officers from 2000 to now, and you will see, I bet, a staggering increase once Obama became president and started, he tried to be so subtle and smooth about it, but people knew exactly what was going on. His ideology is what contributed to the BLM movement that ultimately burned down our cities in 2020 and continued the escalation. And we've got to, it's going to be hard, and I think you're right, there's going to be a lot more violence, but we've got to rein it in.
Now, the other big story, and of course you're here in Memphis, and the National Guard coming to town. The Democrats they're using terms like occupation, that they're acting like we're being invaded.
Completely fear-mongering. They are trying to make this a race issue. Disgusting, morally depraved language they are using to try to pit race against each other simply to clean up our city and solve the crime crisis. It is unacceptable, and the Republican Party of Shelby County here in Memphis is going to be calling it out tonight at a press conference. I think it's going to make national news. We are done. And it is clear that if you care about solving crime and cleaning up crime in your cities, folks, You have got to vote Republican and hold your Republican elected leaders accountable as well. If you live in a red state, demand more from your governor and from your state legislature if you have a crime that is overrun, if you have a city that is overrun with crime, because enough is enough. And what is happening in Memphis today is very sad, and you are going to see a strong response from the Republican Party.
Here's a local resident, cut number 7.
Need help. If it can save one life, I'm happy with it. People could be concerned that it's not normal to see, militarized people out in the street.
No, it's not. It's not normal, but I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. They have to do what they can to kind of take back control of the city.
And here's a lady from an area that has just been overrun with crime. I mean, people go to bed every night and all they hear is gunfire in the Orange Mound community, cut number 8.
I am a citizen here, and yes, I do believe that the guards coming here is really necessary because this city really needs cleaning up.
All right. So, well, it does. It really does. And so tonight there will be a very large gathering. And where can people go if they want to get more information on attending tonight's event?
Look at Facebook, Republican Party of Shelby County, or shelbygop.com. We've got to come out, bring your flags, bring your homemade signs, and say thank you, President Trump, for doing what it takes to clean up crime in our cities. We do not have to live this way. And it's time for the law-abiding majority to take back our cities so that we can go to the grocery store in peace, we can go to restaurants in peace, we can raise families in peace, we can own businesses in peace, and enough is enough. And what is happening in Memphis, I believe, it is going to be hugely successful regardless of the local Democrats trying to make this into a race issue. It is going to be hugely successful, and I hope that we can mirror it across the country.
All right. Luke Simbel joining us today. Luke, we will see you later tonight, 6 o'clock.
See you tonight.
All right. Hang tight, everybody. Your calls coming up next.
You're listening to Todd Starnes.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. Ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. Dave in Salem, Oregon, KYKN. Dave, you guys are blessed with a great radio station out there. Good people.
Yeah, they are. They are. I appreciate your show, and I just was telling your screener I had a thought on these people that are, okay with the political assassination. It maybe hasn't been thought through all that well. My thought was, so if they are saying that, if you ask them, so we disagree politically, so does that mean it's okay if I shoot you? Not you, Todd Starnes, but you, the person that's okay with the political assassination. I don't think they've thought that through all that well.
Well, Dave, one of the things that they really don't believe, I don't think that we're Nazis. But they want to use that kind of language to dehumanize you. So therefore, people are being shot because they're being called Nazis. So that's what concerns me. And I mean, when you're out there every single day calling conservative Nazis and white supremacists and racists and xenophobes, eventually that is going to trigger somebody to get out there and do something horrible.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, like I said, the thought may not carry a lot of water, but it's like, so are they then telling us that if we were to propose shooting them back, that they're like, oh yeah, definitely, that's fair game? I think they probably wouldn't agree with that. So it just shows more of the lunacy on the far left, or whatever that translates to. So.
Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, Dave, I really appreciate you calling in, and it is something that we have to address, this culture, this assassination culture, as the study at Rutgers University, as they called it. I mean, it actually has a name. So we've gone from cancel culture to now assassination culture. And let's just say for the sake of the argument that it is just 1/3. I think that number is actually higher. But 1/3 of all college kids believe it's okay to use violence to shut up somebody that you disagree with. That's a lot of people, a lot of potential terrorists out there. And that's why we've got to really, really take our safety seriously, and security. We've got to take it all seriously. 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. Yesterday, during the Kash Patel hearing, I heard that Congressman Steve Cohen, who's a radical left-wing Democrat, he's far out there. Even this guy gets it when it comes to crime in the district that he represents in Tennessee. Take a listen to Cut 11.
Director Patel, I believe you had primary importance in starting Operation Viper in Memphis. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You did a good job, and the police director and the mayor have told me that has been helpful. the FBI working with the police. And the FBI are trained in law enforcement. They know Miranda rights, they know how to do policing, and they do a good job working with the police. And I commend you for what you did, and I think the FBI coming in, we have a crime problem in Memphis. The FBI has helped, DEA will help, and the ATF will help. I don't think the National Guard's going to help, and what I've seen, they're not trained in law enforcement, are they?
No, sir.
And so that could be a problem. Have you visited Memphis before?
Yes, sir, I have.
So you know how good a city it is.
I love Memphis.
A lot of us do. And Memphis is a great city, great history, civil rights museum. Might say something about slavery, but that was the history. Needs to be taught. Blues, Elvis. Beale Street, right. Barbecue. We love our city, and we hope that the National Guard doesn't come in and cause people to have questions about Memphis, because it's a city they should visit.
All right, that was up on Capitol Hill yesterday. It's interesting because the news coverage was really focused on his objections to the National Guard coming in. The local newspaper did not mention a single thing about the radical Democrat lawmaker acknowledging that we have a big crime problem here. So Congressman Steve Cohen, the Democrat, actually agrees with our great president, Donald J. Trump. By the way, can we talk about the First Lady? Wow, stunning. Just her gown last night at the dinner, just jaw-dropping. People are really, really loving our president and First Lady in the UK. And what a wonderful thing that King Charles did, and the Queen Consort Camilla, and just literally rolling out the red carpet and giving our president such a regal welcome. We certainly appreciate that. All right, hang tight. Hour 3 of the big show coming up. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show. Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653, or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you, and don't go unprotected.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
A disabled Vietnam War veteran was ordered to take down a pro-Trump flag he had installed at his home in a suburb of New York City. Leonard Amicola told a local TV station he was fined by city leaders in Croton-on-Hudson because they said his Trump is my president flag violated the town's content-neutral code. Amicola contends he has a constitutional right to fly a flag, whatever flag he wants to, on his own property. But village leaders say it's not about free speech, it's about an ordinance banning any displays that promote certain content. Sounds to me like somebody has a bad case of Trump derangement syndrome. Mr. Amicola is the son of an Italian immigrant, said he plans on fighting that fine. He says it's not in his nature to back down from a fight. Spoken like a true Vietnam War veteran. I will keep you updated on Mr. Amicola's fight. I'm Todd Stearns.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Great to have you with us today. Last night on Newsmax, had a great conversation with our good friend from New Jersey, Congressman Jeff Van Drew, touching on a lot of the big issues of the day. Let's take a listen. Joining me now, the man delivering that passionate message, Congressman Jeff Van Drew from New Jersey. Congressman, good to have you with us. I wish I could tell you I'm surprised by this, but it's just insane. And I'm curious, what exactly were they looking at when it came to Charlie Kirk?
Well, let me tell you, just in general, we were a whisper away from losing America. Because America, the concept of the United States of America, is based upon freedom of speech. That's the most important. All the amendments to the Constitution are important, but that is the most important one. And of course, Charlie Kirk, what did he talk about? Faith, family, freedom. And there were people in key positions in the FBI that were opposed to those thoughts and thought they were going to crack down and make it uncomfortable. So it was Charlie Kirk, and you were moving kids in colleges and going to universities, and he was unafraid. He told the truth. He told what he believed. But I tried to spell out there in that clip that you had, it happened to many people. It wasn't even only Christians. It was religious Hindus who don't bother anybody in their temple. And that was right in New Jersey. It was god awful what they did to them because they weren't fitting into the typecast that they had. You know, thank God those days are over. I pray to God we never go back to them. But what is frightening is how damn close we got. We have to definitely always protect that First Amendment. We've got to keep our America. We've got to keep our country.
Congressman, when you look at what happened to Charlie Kirk and the aftermath of it, so many millions of kids, young people especially, that are stepping up and they're standing up and they're being vocal about their beliefs. The left doesn't want them to do that, but God love these young people.
Well, the left made a mistake here. They assumed that people were going to crawl up on a ball and hide in their bedrooms, that they wouldn't stand up, that they wouldn't be unafraid, but they are. It's gotten to the point, and people ask me, do you worry about getting shot? No, be unafraid. Stand up for faith, family, and freedom. Stand up for America. Young people have a renewed energy. They understand how important this is, and you're not going to stop it. We have our right to believe in those American values that are so important to us, and they tried to do everything they could to quell it, to stop it. They still do. They're trying different mechanisms. They do it by, social networking, what's going on the different platforms on the internet. There's still things going on. Look what is happening in the United Kingdom. Look what's happening in the European Union. If you express a viewpoint that is different than the woke, left-wing, agnostic, atheist viewpoint that they want, they're going to go after you. And we've got to be careful that doesn't spread to the United States because the internet goes to everyone. We're going to stand strong. We're going to be unafraid. We're going to stand up for what's right. We're going to stand up for America, for everyone, across all faiths, all religions, all ideas, to be able to speak and express themselves freely. That is the beauty and the greatness of America. And by the way, when we allow all that, America, democracy, the republic, this nation will always prevail.
Yeah, look, I want to shout out the national anthem and to wave a flag by what you just said, Congressman. But the reality is, at this hour, you have a political party called the Democrats, and they are out there trying to blame President Trump for this, trying to accuse Charlie Kirk's murderer of being MAGA. They're out there saying absolutely harass conservatives wherever they are. They're telling us we got to start singing Kumbaya, but the other side wants to shoot all of us singing Kumbaya. How do we fix that?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, first we have to establish a set of rules. That's what we're changing. That's what we're doing in the FBI, in the Department of Justice, throughout our government, that everybody who is doing what is right, and by that I mean is not threatening people's lives, is not inciting violence, is not committing violence, has a right to say and believe what they want to do. And we have to stop what they are doing on the left, which is not telling the truth. I want to come together. I love people. But at this point in time, this is a time where we have to stand up. We have to stand tall. We have to believe in what we say and do, and we have to keep that faith, family, and freedom. I keep saying that over and over again. So at this time and in this place, our job number one is to make sure when lies are told, we tell the truth, to make sure that when we're about to lose America, we don't let that happen again, and that we keep America. In other words, we've got to do our job. We have a job to do in Congress. Be unafraid. I keep saying that, but I really mean it. And if you think, I'll just speak for myself now, that I'm going to step back, or I'm going to be weak, or I'm going to crawl up in the fetal position and be afraid because of all the pressure, you're wrong, and they're wrong. We're going to be stronger than ever. Keep up the attacks and we're going to get stronger. So it's time to establish America as it's always been, and then to maybe then, when they recognize that, maybe then, but only then, we can come together.
And that's Congressman Jeff Van Drew out of the great state of New Jersey. All right, we've got to take a break here, folks. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Hey, guess who is watching Rob Finnerty on Newsmax? None other than President Donald J. Trump. He says Finnerty's show is terrific. Millions are joining President Trump to watch Finnerty every night, 8 o'clock Eastern. All this week, Rob looking at the media's war on the president. He's giving you the facts about the National Guard in cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, telling you the real truth about the Jeffrey Epstein files, and he reveals the big media agenda on the president's health. That's why you need to watch Rob Finnerty on Newsmax. Check out your local cable system. Newsmax, of course, on all major systems. You can download the free Newsmax app. It costs nothing, and you can watch in minutes. Finnerty, the fastest-growing primetime news show in America. More than 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for news they can trust, because we really are real news for real people.
Truth and nothing but the truth. You're listening to Todd Starnes.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
In a world where our values are under fire, it's time to stand strong. That's why you should know about Old Glory Bank. Old Glory Bank is a bank that stands for faith, family, and freedom. A bank that won't cave to cancel culture. Your money, your values. So if you're tired of banks that won't stand up for your values, it's time to switch to Old Glory Bank. Head on over to oldglorybank.com/Starnes and make the change today.
You know, I've tried every diet out there and nothing seems to work. Then I found Calitrin and I'm losing some weight. I've got more energy and I'm finally sleeping better. Elizabeth, this stuff really works.
And you know, we hear that every day, Todd. I've lost 40 pounds with it too. And Calitrin is not a drug, a stimulant, so no jitters, no crash. It's just going to work naturally with your body to help support healthy weight loss while you sleep. And it also has side benefits too.
And that's really what I love. I don't feel like I'm on some sort of a crazy diet or loaded up on caffeine. I take Calitrin before bed, and it does the rest. Elizabeth, it is simple, and it's been life-changing for me.
Yes, and proven for almost 30 years. And right now we've got a special offer. You can try Calitrin risk-free for your listeners and see the results for yourself, and also use that promo code TODD to save on shipping.
Yeah, take it from me, folks. Calitrin delivers. Don't wait another day. Go to toploss.com and get started. Use that promo code TODD.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it,
I recognized that I was feeling better, you know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You know, we were talking last night on Newsmax about just the level of vitriol on so many university campuses, and it's always fun to have Dalton Glasscock, the CEO of my company, on. Dalton, also a city councilman in Wichita, Kansas, and Josh Jones. We had just a terrific panel discussion last night. Let's take a listen to some of that. Well, joining me now, Dalton Glasscock, a city councilman in Wichita, Kansas, and Josh Jones, a Republican strategist. Guys, good to have you with us. Dalton, first to you, and I know that you were at a Charlie Kirk rally last night in Wichita. What is the level of vitriol say about our culture right now?
Well, there's a YouGov poll released yesterday that showed that young liberals in this country are more likely to support political violence than any other demographic of people. And so that's why speaking out and speaking boldly and speaking with courage and speaking with faith matter. And yesterday I saw that in Wichita. We had more than 2,000 people attend a memorial vigil held by the Turning Point chapter at Wichita State. Just a few years ago, the Wichita State Turning Point chapter wasn't allowed to exist. It took a Supreme Court ruling from the Student Senate to allow them to be an RSO because the Student Senate denied their permit to be a group on campus. And so this is a dramatic shift that we just saw from a few years ago, to have 2,000 people, many of which young people, come out and support a man that stood by his faith and stood with courage and conviction.
Josh, Governor Greg Abbott in Texas now calling for teachers to be fired and students expelled for those inappropriate comments. Let's take a listen.
We have a problem in our society that we need to come to grips with, and that is a murder of somebody, an assassination of somebody. It is something that's tragic, especially a person who leaves behind a wife and 2 kids who now not have a father. We as a society, we as a state, must send a signal that behavior like that, celebrating an assassination, is wrong in a civil society.
Josh, is the governor right here? Do we have a big problem in our society?
Yeah, the governor is absolutely correct. Anybody celebrating political violence should accidentally be shunned from society, especially those in positions of public trust, especially in our education system, and especially in K through 12. Teaching the next generation and instilling values, that's a place to learn your basic skills and not push a political agenda. So I'm glad the governor is going after these people who are celebrating a death of a father of two, and other governors should follow suit across the country. This isn't something conservatives should back away from, and it's absolutely not only morally right, but politically the correct thing to do here.
Yeah, Dalton, I want you to check out what happened in Rhode Island. There were some students. They're fighting back their teacher. They reported their teacher to the school board. The teacher allegedly called Charlie a piece of garbage in the classroom. Let's take a listen.
Charlie's wife did not deserve to lose her husband. Charlie did not deserve to lose his life because of a different opinion. But this teacher deserves to lose his job.
As civilians and people of our great country, we hold ourselves to a higher standard than to support, or worse yet, rejoice in violence. Someone who advocated for an arrested murderer and assassinator of one of the greatest debaters and free speakers of our time should have no place in the classroom, more so around young children.
As a student of Barrington High, I do not feel comfortable or safe with one of our teachers supporting violence.
Dalton, what do you make of that? It sounds like these kids have said enough is enough.
The First Amendment protects freedom of speech for the government. It doesn't protect you from the consequences of your own action. If you've lost trust from your students, it goes back to what Josh said. So when you're in positions of public trust, you are expected to behave at a higher standard. And I believe deeply in freedom of speech, but I also believe deeply there should be consequences for your action in this country. And defending murder is pure evil. And those people should not be in positions of public trust. And I think they should be called out. And we should call them out boldly and with faith and with genuine conviction and love, and try to pray and hope for their hearts to turn, because I cannot imagine that wickedness of celebrating anybody, even any political enemy's death, especially one of a father, a 31-year father. I've asked multiple people that have expressed radical views online is what is the difference between a 31-year-old friend and a 31-year-old conservative who just has a higher position of power? What is the difference from your uncle or your neighbor who believes what Charlie Kirk believes and his influence? The only difference is influence of power, and I think that is unsettling in our community, and we have to repair that before it gets out of hand.
Josh, in South Carolina, Nancy Mace, a congresswoman, sending out a special invitation to her constituents. She says, if you know of any professor, teacher, or public employee in South Carolina who is excusing or celebrating this violence, contact our office immediately. I'm kind of glad to see people fighting back here, guys. And Josh, we have seen our university campuses use our tax dollars to radicalize kids, and that's got to stop.
You're absolutely correct. The education system in this country, particularly when it comes to higher education, has absolutely turned into a tool of the left to indoctrinate the next generation. I mean, you can see that. But Charlie Kirk and his mission and Turning Point USA's mission, they've been turning the tide on that, or being the turning point on that. And you're seeing that play out in the tragic aftermath of Charlie Kirk's passing, is all these universities and high schools even across the country filing the create Turning Point USA chapters. So I think that's a positive sign for the conservative movement here, that conservatives aren't backing down and letting the mob get their way, but rather rising up and speaking out and doubling down on these principles that we know work and know are true. And Nancy Mace here is absolutely correct. Not only, as we saw in Texas with the governor, but Congress people should be also holding public officials and people in positions of public trust accountable here. And I'm glad that there's kind of a unified front across the right to tackle this head on.
Dalton, you work with a lot of young people there in Wichita. Yeah, go ahead.
Matt, on one thing Josh said, politics is the solution to bloodshed in our country. When you can't win out the ballot box, that's when people are resorting to evil actions, including what happened last week. And so they know that their ideas aren't winning at the ballot box, and so they're trying to find other measures to succeed. It's unacceptable, it's intolerable, it's un-American, and every single person has to be held accountable.
It's great points from both Dalton and Josh there, and glad that we've got some strong conservatives coming up in the ranks, and we need more lawmakers, and we need to be electing more lawmakers like that, no matter where you are. By the way, the Charlie Kirk Memorial Service, that's going to be held Sunday, and they're expecting the entire stadium is going to be filled up, over 60,000 people. They're opening up another arena just for the overflow. So they're expecting tens of thousands of people at Charlie's memorial service. President Trump is going to be there. He'll be speaking. Erica Kirk is also going to be speaking, as well as the vice president. We understand Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, will be there. Tucker Carlson, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., as well as Stephen Miller, and many, many others. So this is going to be really an amazing event. The service actually starts at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And, of course, I'm sure many of the radio stations that you are listening to this program on will be broadcasting that service live as really as the nation comes together to say farewell to Charlie Kirk. But let's get real. It's not farewell. You're seeing the crowds, right? Are you sensing here that we are at and again, the cliche, but we are at a turning point. I think this is one of those moments in American history where the country is taking a hard turn, except this time it's to the right. So we're getting away from the communism and the socialism, and the culture at large, or at least a vocal segment of the population, is saying, we're not going to be silent anymore. For me, this is exciting. And we see these videos coming out from all across America, and it's almost as if the leftists are now being shamed, which is exactly what they should be. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. So we'll be touching base also. We've got some audio coming up here from, Jasmine Crockett, as well as the vice president. And she is just completely off the charts. Actually, we have time for this. This is Jasmine Crockett saying it's impossible for her to feel safe in America now.
And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, we're happy because now we feel safe, I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists, because I specifically, as a black woman, definitely don't.
Oh, shut up, woman. Just shut up. We've had enough of you. By the way, Stan from Memphis, we had a caller, Stan from Memphis, and Stan disagreed with me. And we invited him to come on the air, but he wouldn't tell us what he found objectionable. He would not tell us what he wanted to disagree with me on. And there could be a lot of stuff, but Stan refused to tell the lovely Miss Cassie why he wanted to come on. I just disagree with Todd. About what? I disagree. I'm not going to tell you. He said he wasn't going to. Well, you got to tell Cassie. And again, we've been pretty open about this. If you disagree with me, we take your call first. I mean, that's how it works. It was really easy, Stan, and you blew it. You had the chance, Stan. You had the chance. Glory was almost in your grasp, and you let it slip away. Hang tight. We'll be right back, everybody.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face, never let them have too much screen time, and never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed, never ever become a minivan mom, and you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, Kamala Harris back in the news. I keep forgetting about her. It's like she just completely disappeared. Poof, she's gone. So Kamala Harris now revealing in her book that Tim Walz was not her first choice as vice president. Wow, this is terrible. If you're Tim Walz, you know, Governor Jazz Hands, hello, boys, girls. Hello, I'm an assistant football coach. Jazz hands. It's very off-putting, that man. something a little off. So anyway, it turns out that Kamala Harris, her first choice as a running mate was Pete Buttigieg. I'm stunned. Reading from Fox News, former Vice President Kamala Harris revealed that Pete Buttigieg was her first choice as running mate in last year's presidential election, but such a pairing was too big of a risk. That's according to an excerpt from her upcoming book. I thought the book was already out. I had no idea. The book, titled 107 Days, Buttigieg, the former transec, that's nothing sexual, that's the transportation secretary, that's the abbreviation. Also, the former mayor of South Bend who could not fill potholes. Buttigieg is gay and would have been an ideal partner. Well, actually, technically, no, Kamala, that's kind of incorrect there, since you're a chick. He's not into you. Don't take it personally. Going back now, Buttigieg, the former Secretary of Transportation, who is gay, would have been an ideal partner, quote, if I were a straight white man, Harris wrote. But we were already asking a lot of America to accept a black woman married to a Jewish man. Part of me wanted to say, screw it, let's just do it. But knowing what was at stake, it was too big of a risk. And I think Pete also knew that, too, our mutual sadness. Really? Is that it? So what she's saying here is that America is homophobic, racist, and anti-Semitic. All in one sentence. I'm fairly certain that's not it. Honestly, if, looking back, there was no way Trump was going to lose this race. But I think she may have actually done better had she had Buttigieg on the ticket. In the 107 days excerpt, Harris said Buttigieg initially led the 8 names on her vetting list for running mates because, quote, he is a sincere public servant with the rare talent of being able to frame liberal arguments in a way that makes it possible for conservatives to hear them. I love Pete. I love working with Pete. He and his husband, Chastity, are friends. Pardon me, Chasten. Is it Chasten or Chasten? What an odd name for a young person. So I'm curious about this. So are they trying to, and hear me on this, there's a reason this is coming out now, and I'm wondering if they're trying to position Mayor Pete, for a possible presidential run in 2028. Because the Democrats are in the throes of chaos right now. They've got no money. They've got no leadership. They've got no vision. And right now it's a free-for-all, and the people winning the argument, the people winning the day, are, in fact, the radicals. It's unbelievable. Anyway, Harris's book, set to come out next Tuesday, called 107 Days. Interesting. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. So there's a story from yesterday, and we didn't get to this, and I wanted to get to it. This happened last night. So there was an effort to strip Ilhan Omar of her committee assignments. And they had the votes, but then they didn't have the votes. And now we understand that 4 House Democrats voted with Democrats, 4 House Republicans voted with Democrats against a measure to censure Ilhan Omar. This is a no-brainer here. Here are your Republican renegades, the traitors: Mike Flood, Jeff Hurd, Tom McClintock, and Corey Mills. Nancy Mason raged. She says all 4 men voted to shield a woman who mocked the cold-blooded assassination of Charlie Kirk, a woman who belittled a grieving family. It's terrible. 210 Democrats and 4 Republicans just sided with Ilhan Omar over Charlie Kirk. That's how she described it. By the way, Mark Levin, the great one, says that all 4 need to be primaried and defeated. I mean, it's disgusting. It's beyond disgusting that we elect these people, and this only happens with the Republicans. It never happens with the Democrats. Democrats always do things in lockstep. I mean, for better or for worse. But we have 4 rhino thugs, and they could not even do the right thing and remove Ilhan Omar from her committees. How do you do that? You people out there in Nebraska, Mike Flood, Tom McClintock, California, Jeff Hurd, Colorado, Corey Mills, Florida. Man, that guy's turned into it's like a dumpster fire. Hurd, McClintock, and Mills defended their decision to shoot down the censure, arguing such a measure would be an attack on free speech. McClintock says Ilhan Omar's comments regarding Charlie Kirk are vile and contemptible. They deserve the harshest criticism of every man and woman of goodwill, but this disgusting and hateful speech is still speech and is protected by our First Amendment. Censure is formal punishment by the House, and we have already gone too far down this road. You think the Democrats would stop there? Do you think they would? I don't think so. The congressman goes on to say that Omar's comments were not made in the House, and even if they were, they broke no House rules. A free society depends on tolerating all speech, even hateful speech. So McClintock is basically endorsing and defending Ilhan Omar here. I mean, that's what's going on here. And so far, so are all the others. Congressman Jeff Hurd, perhaps the most contemptible, using Charlie Kirk's name to make his argument, saying that Ilhan Omar's comments about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, as well as her comments about those who supported Charlie, are ghoulish and evil. He goes on to say, I voted against today's censure because it tried to strip another member of Congress from committees and to silence her for exercising the First Amendment right to free speech. The right response to reprehensible speech like this isn't silence, it's more speech. That's what Charlie Kirk believed and practiced, and I agree. That coming from Congressman Jeff Hurd, who's clearly smoking something out there in the great state of Colorado. By the way, more people now calling on Congress and the president to create a national holiday to honor Charlie. Curious to hear your thoughts on that. 901-260-5926. Again, our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hear what's happening from Todd along with the biggest newsmakers first on the Todd Starnes Show.
In a world where our values are under fire, it's time to stand strong. That's why you should know about Old Glory Bank. Old Glory Bank is a bank that stands for faith, family, and freedom. A bank that won't cave to cancel culture. Your money, your values. So if you're tired of banks that won't stand up for your values, it's time to switch to Old Glory Bank. Head on over to oldglorybank.com/Starnes and make the change today.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder, as soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Is it just me? All the people that are celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk are among the most outraged over ABC's decision to suspend the Jimmy Kimmel show. Have you noticed that? These people are more upset that Jimmy Kimmel's off the air than anything else. These people are going bonkers. Here is CNN's little dwarf king, Brian Stelter. They call him Mr. Potato Head. Cut 23, please.
Kimmel was expressing what we've heard some other liberals say in recent days, that the motives are unclear and that maybe the suspect in this case was a Republican or was some sort of far-right fringe figure. Of course, there has been a lot of discussion about that in recent days. There's a lot of evidence pointing in other directions about the suspect. But Kimmel was on the air talking about this, making a very serious commentary amid his jokes in his monologue Monday night. Here's where it became interesting earlier today. The FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, went on a far-right webcast and condemned Kimmel and urged ABC to suspend him. He also talked about possible regulatory punishments of Disney because there are lots of different stations that have licenses with the FCC. Within the past hour, we've heard from a big owner of stations that have affiliations with ABC, a company called Nexstar, saying that they were going to suspend Kimmel's show on their station. So in other words, about 24 stations were refusing to air Kimmel's show tonight as a result of this controversy. And then, following word that some of those stations were basically revolting against Kimmel, Disney, the parent company of ABC, decided to yank the show entirely.
Oh my gosh, the guy's voice is just monotonous. I mean, it's just, hello, my name is Brian Stelter, and I'm really upset about my friend Jimmy Kimmel being taken off the air because he really was a great fan of America, and Donald Trump is an evil orange man bad. Good Lord, man. Get through puberty, for crying out loud. So, while all that's going on, you've got all these Democrats up on Capitol Hill that are raising holy you-know-what including Eric Swalwell and others. That guy, just unbelievable. Can we go back in time? This is who we're talking about. Cut 27.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science.
All right,
for journalism.
We're good. You know why he choked up? He choked up when he was talking about the illegals. And you know why? Because this guy probably employs a lot of them, right? I mean, he's making $18 million. He's not living in some sort of a duplex. You know, that guy's got a highfalutin mansion, so you know he's got to have somebody to mow the grass, trim the hedges, probably wash the car. You got to have a couple of maids. So that's why he's upset. He's going to have to start hiring Americans now. That was Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, the night after President Donald J. Trump won the election. And I say, good for you, Donald J. Trump. The president, of course, earlier today talking about that and saying that the guy had no talent, and he had no talent. Oh, yeah, here's Swalwell. He's really upset. Cut 19.
Congressman, I see you are wearing a hat. What does that hat say?
You're damn right I am, John. I was a guest on the Jimmy Kimmel show. He, every night, has a right to come into any house that wants to watch and entertain Americans, just as Greg Gutfeld on Fox has a right to be not funny and go on his network and entertain Americans. It's a part of who we are, John, and frankly, it should shake every American that the President of the United States is out there firing comedians who make fun of him. That is not who we are, and every American should care and stand up to this.
Oh, my. All right. All right, let me explain this to you. First of all, no. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't have a right. And by the way, neither does Greg Gutfeld. If Greg Gutfeld's numbers were in the toilet, Fox would be well within their rights to give that guy the heave-ho. And they've done that over and over and over again with people. That's the reality of it. He talks about Greg Gutfeld not being funny. Well, you know what? 3.4 million Americans would disagree with you, sir. As a matter of fact, Greg Gutfeld is the #1 primetime late-night show in America. So I don't know what Swalwell is thinking here, who's giving him the talking points, but he showed up on the cable news channels wearing his little Jimmy Kimmel hat, like he's like a groupie or a fanboy. You're damn right I'm really upset. I just really love my friend Jimmy Kimmel. He makes me giggle in all the right places. Dude. I mean, really? So, good luck to you. Again, I don't think, and I may be wrong here, but I don't think ABC is going to fire this guy, because if they fire him, they're going to have to do something about those gals on The View. And as bad as Kimmel is, what they're doing on ABC's The View is off the charts insane. But you do wonder at the end of the day, this is all about business. This is all about making money. This is about paying the bills. And you wonder if a lot of these business executives in these newsrooms, and a lot of them didn't even come up on the news side of the business, so this is a great annoyance to them. The fact of the matter is, and this is getting lost in all this controversy, Jimmy Kimmel's job was not to weigh in on politics. Jimmy Kimmel's job was to entertain people. I mean, that's ultimately what he was all about, to make people laugh, to be entertaining. He's not a political talk show host. And maybe, I don't know, maybe, just maybe, PMS Now might be willing to hire this guy at $18 million. $18 million? That's insanity. But some people are going to pay it. What are you going to do? But he'll find, if in fact he does get the heave-ho, I have no doubt he'll find some other home, whether it be like CNN, PMS Now. Is there any other channels out there? I don't know. CNBC? Could be. All right. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. By the way, I want to play this. Vice President, let's go back. Jasmine Crockett was talking about white supremacy, and Vice President Vance wanted to weigh on that. Let's play her comment first, Dylan, and then the Vice President's response.
And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, you know, we're happy because now we feel safe, I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacist, because I specifically as a black woman definitely don't.
Well, I'd ask Jasmine Crockett, what is it that you want people to do when you call them Nazis? What is it that you want them to do when you call them fascists? What is the proper response when you say that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Charlie Kirk are threatening your safety? What do you expect people to do? This rhetoric is completely out of control, and it's part of this entire network of violence that exists on the far left. You dehumanize your political opponents. You fund paid activists to go and harass them and terrorize them. We've had a White House senior staffer just in the past week who has had actual representatives of the Democratic Party going around passing leaflets trying to get his neighbors to harass him and showing people where he lives, where his wife lives, where his young family lives. If that's not political violence, if that's not political harassment, I don't know what the term means.
Yeah, I don't either. And the Vice President's got a great point there. And the rhetoric coming from the left is just putting everybody in grave danger. And we'll go through a lot of that tomorrow on the show. By the way, tomorrow, can we talk about tomorrow's show? We're going to have a little bit of fun. We've got to step back a little bit and smile and laugh. We'll do some fun trivia on tomorrow's show, an opportunity for you to win some great prizes. But again, that is coming up tomorrow. Don't forget, if you're in the Memphis area, 6 o'clock tonight, right across from Mission Church, we're holding a big press conference to welcome the National Guard to Memphis. Hope to see you out there. Folks, in the meantime, you get out there no matter where you are in America. You be safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose